A fresh iPhone Fold prototype leak is making the rounds online. And while it comes from a leaker with a solid history, the evidence is still thin enough that it could be real or completely fake. A single photo, shared on China's Weibo platform by Ice Universe, claims to show a white prototype of Apple's long-rumored foldable iPhone, often referred to as the iPhone Fold. Ice Universe has accurately teased and revealed details about upcoming smartphones in the past, which is why this image is getting immediate attention across the Apple leak community. Still, one photo is not the same thing as confirmation, especially when it comes to a product. Apple has kept under extreme wraps. The leaked image appears to show a foldable phone being held in someone's hand, partially opened, with a white rear panel and a dual camera set up on the back. The front looks almost entirely screen, suggesting a minimal bezel design, exactly the kind of design direction many expect Apple to pursue if it enters the foldable phone market. However, the front surface also appears to be covered in protective wrapping or shrink film, which makes it difficult to judge finer details like the true bezel thickness, the display curvature, and how the hinge area looks when the device is open. Even so, the overall shape and camera arrangement line up with multiple earlier claims about the iPhone Fold's design. The dual rear cameras match recent rumors that Apple may keep the camera system simpler on the first-generation foldable to control thickness, weight, and internal space. The proportions also resemble design sketches and render-style leaks that have circulated for months. Importantly, the device in this photo also appears broadly consistent with CAD-based leaks previously shared by leaker Sonny Dixon in March 2026. Those CAD drawings suggested a foldable iPhone with a clean exterior, a relatively understated camera layout, and an Apple-like focus on symmetry and refinement. Seeing a physical-looking unit that mirrors those CAD outlines will naturally fuel the narrative that Apple has moved beyond concept stages and into tangible prototyping. But there's a major problem. This leak is only one image, and it offers no supporting context. There are no additional angles, no close-ups of the hinge, no display on shots, no visible Apple branding, no identifying markings, and no follow-up photos showing the device fully opened or fully closed. In the world of hardware leaks, a single ambiguous photo is the classic Bigfoot problem. The image might be authentic, but when it's the only piece of evidence and when it lacks the kind of detail that could verify its skepticism is unavoidable. If a leaker truly had access to a prototype iPhone Fold, the expectation would be simple. More photos, not just one. A quick sequence showing the hinge mechanism, the rear cameras up close, the thickness profile, the crease visibility, the side buttons, and the inner display would dramatically increase credibility. Today's leakers aren't limited by film rolls or camera scarcity. They can capture dozens of high-resolution images in seconds. When they choose not to, it raises questions about whether they can't provide more, because additional images might expose inconsistencies. That said, there is another possibility: drip feeding. Some leakers intentionally release content in stages to keep attention on their accounts and to extend the life cycle of a leak. Dropping one image first can trigger reposts, headlines, debates, and speculation, and then a second wave of photos can reignite the conversation days later. If that's the strategy here, it's possible more alleged iPhone Fold photos could appear soon, timing-wise. A foldable iPhone leak would make sense, at least in theory. Earlier reporting suggested that if Apple is truly preparing an iPhone Fold launch, meaningful leaks would start appearing well ahead of the official announcement window. That pattern has held true for other Apple products. Once supply chains shift, test units move, component orders scale, and accessories begin to leak, the information flow tends to accelerate. For example, recent iPhone Air style leaks in 2025 included multiple sources and repeated confirmations. By comparison, iPhone Fold information has been more scattered and less definitive, which is one reason this single Weibo image is being scrutinized so heavily. Another key detail is the expected launch window. The iPhone Fold is widely rumored to be targeted for a September reveal, aligning with Apple's traditional iPhone event timing. If Apple intends to introduce a foldable iPhone alongside its main iPhone lineup, internal prototypes and engineering validation units would likely exist by now. However, there have also been reports that the project may be facing engineering hurdles particularly around the hinge, system, and potentially the internal circuit board. Designed. A foldable iPhone hinge isn't just a moving part. It's the foundation of the device's durability, thickness, weight distribution, and long-term reliability. It also affects the display crease, dust resistance, and the way the phone feels when opening and closing. Apple is known for delaying products until the user experience meets a high standard, and foldables are notoriously difficult to perfect. If hinge issues are real, it could explain why foldable iPhone leaks have been less concrete than typical late-stage Apple product leaks. Circuit board complications would also be a serious concern. Foldables demand unusually compact and precisely routed internal components to accommodate the hinge and split body structure. Battery placement, thermal management, antenna performance, and display cabling all become harder when the device physically bends. Even small issues in board layout or flex cable routing can lead to delays, especially if Apple is chasing a thinner design or higher durability targets than competitors. So what does this leak actually tell us? At best, it suggests that something resembling a white dual-camera, foldable iPhone prototype might exist and might already be in the hands of people with access to early hardware. The design seems plausible, and it matches some previously circulated CAD expectations. At worst, it's a well-made fake ether, a mock-up based on existing rumors, or a modified folding device dressed to resemble what people think an Apple foldable should look like. Until there are more images, stronger sourcing, or corroboration from additional independent leakers, this iPhone Fold prototype photo should be treated as interesting, but unverified. It's enough to keep the iPhone Fold conversation alive, but not enough to declare that Apple's foldable iPhone has definitively been photographed in the wild. If more photos arrive specially clear shots of the hinge, the inner screen, the side profile, and any unique Apple design cues this leak could quickly shift from speculation to something more substantial. Until then, it remains a single-frame mystery, potentially the first real glimpse at the iPhone Fold, or just another convincing entry in the long history of Apple rumor bait.